رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا.
When you travel 45 degrees all the way from Bangalore to northwest parts of the world, you might end up being in a European country, which was under Islamic rule for 800 years. Spain, a country of the Iberian peninsula, has only 3% of Muslims. In medieval history, they were the majority in the land. They created a rich and powerful society that flourished in Spain for centuries. After the invade of Catholic rulers, they had undergone an astonishing act of ethnic cleanse. Enemies destroyed all the evidence of their presence and systematically erased from the history. It's an incredible story. In the year 711, Muslim forces arrived on the Iberian Peninsula by crossing Strait of Gibraltar. These people became known as Moors. The Hispania was under crisis. Hispanians supported invade of Moors into their land, and soon Muslims started conquering parts of the Iberian Peninsula. In less than a decade, the Muslims brought most of the peninsula under their domination from King Roderick. The Muslims called the country they arrived in Anddalus the land of Vandals. The borders of Andalusia started expanding over the years. The Muslims became a powerful force on the peninsula and reached till the French territory. From 712 till 756, around 23 governors ruled in Al-Andalus under Umayyad Khalifa. Al-Walid ibn Abdul Malik was famous among them. He paid great attention to the development and expansion of Al-Andalus. He had the well-organized and strongest navy of the Umayyad era, which was a key element in Caliphate's expansions into Iberia. But Abbasiya revolution overthrew the Umayyad Khalifa in 750. Umayyad prince Abdur Rahman I escaped Al-Andalus from Damascus and set up the independent Emirate of Cordoba. The year is 929. In competition with the Abbasiya, Abdur Rahman III became the leader of the Islamic world. By the arrival of Abdur Rahman III in 912, the Al-Andalus was in decline due to internal fighting, attacks from the Christian kingdoms, and threat to overseas trade. Unlike other governors, he was passionately interested in both the religious and the secular sciences. He brought ethnic tolerance and interfaith harmony between Muslims, Christians, and Jews, which was a dream in the previous regimes. He imported books from Baghdad and actively recruited scholars. Soon, as a result, scholars, poets, philosophers, and historians began to migrate to Al-Andalus. The government started building infrastructure for libraries, hospitals, research institutions, and centers of Islamic studies. Eventually, Spain started contributing to mathematics, astrology, psychology, physics, biology, and chemistry. They started to translate books to Arabic language and printed a tremendous number of books, which is more than any Middle Eastern countries till today.
Elsewhere in Islamic world, there is no exact parallel to what happened in Islamic Spain. That was a golden age in Islamic Spain, where different community groups lived in harmony. Many Jewish scholars born in this era. One of the most important and influential Torah scholar, Musa bin Maimun, born and brought up in Islamic Spain. He wrote a lot of religious books under the Umayyad Khilafat. Also, Islamic Spain gave shelter to Jews who flew from war-affected countries. Hence, Jews consider that as one of their golden age.
But Moors was not only interested in territorial expansion, but also a society committed to knowledge. Literacy and religious education went hand in hand. Most of the mosques contain a madrasa which encouraged education and learning. Islamic scholars Imam Qurtubi, polymaths like Abbas ibn Firnas and Ibn Sina, poet Ibn Hazm, philosopher Ibn Rushd, astronomer Al-Zarqali are the products of Muslim Spain. Most of the Catholic rulers in that era were illiterate, but the governors of Islamic Spain had libraries which are equivalent to some of the universities.
The capital Cordoba had more than 800 schools and the literacy rate was all-time high. I will tell you one example. Once a king from a Muslim Spain was in search of a girl for his son. He wanted to choose the most educated one. He decided to choose a girl who is Hafiz, the one who knows Quran by heart. To decide the girl, he told to keep a lighted candle in front of Hafiz's home. In the late evening, surprisingly, the entire capital city, Cordoba, got eliminated. The king had to change the criterion for shortlisting from Hafiz to the one who knows Maliki fiqh books by heart. But the result was the same. So this was the situation there. The girls were well educated in both Islamic and scientific areas.
Between the 11th and 13th centuries, Muslim Spain built many canals, pipelines, public baths, industrial water mills, dams, irrigation system, and produced cotton, paper, salt, silk, stain, pepper, clocks, soaps, ruler, maps, globes, velvet, surgical instruments, and named over 200 stars with Arabic names. The Great Mosque of Cordoba, which is now historic center of Cordoba, has a size of 4 football fields. It includes a garden and a pool. This is the largest mosque of Western Islam. Because of this, some explorers called Cordoba as the ornament of the world. The Alhambra in Granada is distinct among medieval palaces for its sophisticated planning, complex decorative programs, and its many enchanting gardens and fountains built by Muslim king in Granada in the 14th century. The name means red because the soil was dark. It gave the stones that reddish hue. Curious in the Alhambra is its mystery. Inside the walls of the palace, the architecture is breathtaking. No information of life in this palace was preserved. All the files were burned by the Inquisition. Every decorative detail of the palace seems part of the design. Countless rows of intricate geometric patterns and Arabic letters are carved into the wood of the walls and windows. Advanced mathematics engineering lies at the core of Alhambra's beauty. Madina Az-Zahra, the name means the shining city, was built by Abdurrahman III in 1940. This city was called Paradise on Earth. It included ceremonial reception halls, mosques, administrative and government offices, gardens, mint workshops, barracks, residences, baths, artificial rivers and canals. The established intellectual tradition, education system, cultural and technological legacy under new Umayyad Khalifa made Spain outstanding for the next 400 years. Till 1084, Spain was kept shining under the Islamic regime when neighbors were in darkness.
The end of this golden age starts after the division of Anddalus into many provinces. They started fighting each other for power and wealth. Some groups sought help from the enemies of Islamic Spain, and eventually the Christian rulers invaded Andalusia territory. In 1084, King Alfonso captured the Toledo city. But Umayyad rulers took the help from Almoravid and brought back the peace in Andalusia. After 1146, Almohad took over the territory, but from the beginning of 13th century, the Christians started fighting again. At that time, Granada was the only city under the Islamic Spain. In 1942, the Christians invaded Granada and started a forced conversion. They banned Arabic language, destroyed religious evidences, and burnt a lot of books. Finally, the population of Muslims came down from 90% to 5% at the end of that century.
The 1.2 billion plus Muslims of the world today have the same potential as of the Muslims of the past. One of our great many challenges today is to recreate the dynamic legacy which existed in Al-Andalus. By its outstanding example, Al-Andalus proves that to the world as melting pot of religious faiths and races, we can, in reality, live and prosper with one another.